says, sipping a glass of bourbon and smoking a cigar on our porch, watching the sunset every evening with my wife as it bounces off the mountains of North Carolina. And then he says, please don't tell my doctor about that second glass of whiskey or that cigar. What can I tell you? Fibbers are born, not made. Canute Rarity.
Get this up here on whether time's starting or not. We'll get there. All right. All right. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. How many of you have a dog? Had a dog when you were a child? All right. Good. Yeah. How many of you have a dog now? A dog, no. Well, you know, when I was born and raised on a farm in Ohio, and I had two brothers, Fred and Ike. And when we were little, we had an incredible dog. We had an incredible dog named Sport. Sport was a working dog. Now, Sport was a working dog. It worked every day on the farm, you know, but it was an amazing dog. It could run and jump over a fence in a single bound. It could go out and herd cattle and pigs and sheep, and you could bring them back in single file. Sport was an incredible dog. You could throw a stick. My older brother would throw a stick, and Sport would bring it back, and I'd throw a stick, and Sport would bring it back until our arms were tired, and my little brother would like toss a stick out there. Sport would bring it back. But you know, I'm 71 years old, and Sport has made its way to heaven, made her way to heaven. And on her way to heaven, Sport met a number of dogs. The first dog that Sport met was a dog named Bear. Now, Bear was a yard dog. And a yard dog is one of those dogs that can beg and eat and sleep, and that's about it. And, you know, it'll also, you know, it could chase cars. But that didn't say catch cars, it said chase cars. Said hello to Bear and went on down the road and came to that next dog. And that next dog was a little dog with looked like a bread box kind of dog with all wiry hair and teeth. And it was that dog, this little dog named Chewy. And Chewy was a lap dog. Chewy loved to sit on Grandma's lap and loved to just love on her. And he would guard her, and that was his human. If anybody got close to him, growling, and Chewy was always chewing, and I hate to think about the different parts of his body he was chewing on, but Chewy was chewing. And then Sport went on up the road and met a dog named Sarge. Sarge was a war dog. Sarge had been to Korea. Sarge had been to Vietnam. Sarge had sniffed out bombs, sniffed out bad guys, and took care of the soldiers that he was with. Also, when he got older, he came home, he was a police dog, and he would sniff out bad guys, he'd sniff out drugs, and he'd take care of the policemen that he was with. Well, they said hello to each other, Sport went on up the road, got up the road and ran into a dog, just a gnarly, nasty dog named Spike, part Rottweiler, part Bulldog, and part Grizzly Bear. Yeah, chained, you know, the kind of dog you see chained in the backyard there with that little chewed up water jug next to it, and a deflated ball, and on a chain with a fence around it. If you got close to it, it'd just growl and bite and lunge, and you'd think it'd eat you alive if it got loose. But also, if you were a member of the family, it'd probably just lick you to death. Sport said hello and went on up the road, got on up the road and ran into a little dog, a little poodle named Frou-Frou. And Frou-Frou was just bouncing around. She was so sweet and really tailored, nicely tailored, all nice and shiny. And they said hello, and Sport went on up the road. Went up the road, met a few more dogs, got up there to the Pearly Gates, and as he got up to the Pearly Gates, there was a big guy in blue jeans and a plaid shirt and work boots, and he had a big axe laying up against the Pearly Gates. Well, Sport had never met Paul Bunyan before, but there was Paul Bunyan right there at the gates. Paul was at the gates, and he was standing there, and he was looking down the way, and he saw Sport coming. Sport kept coming up the road, and got up to Paul Bunyan. He noticed the axe was laying there against the Pearly Gates, and there was a blue ox next to him, behind him, and he figured out in the future that that was Babe. Well, they looked at each other, and it was love at first sight. What Sport didn't know, and most people don't know, is that Paul Bunyan always wanted a dog. And there was Sport. She was a great dog. She was a wonder dog, and he noted that right away. And they made it, they hit it off, and spent the rest of eternity together. And today, when I'm sitting on the porch, having that glass of bourbon and that cigar, and sitting there with my wife Kathy rocking on the porch, and I look out over the lake and over the mountains, and I see those clouds rolling in, that summer storm rolling in, those dark clouds. And I see that lightning flashing back there and flashing back there and flashing back there. And I look out and I think for just a moment, maybe that's sport. You know, that's probably sport. Sport running after those lightning bolts as Paul Bunyan throws them out there, and he runs out there and gets them and throws them out there again and runs out there and getting that rumbling sound as long as the old babe is running right behind him. And I think for a minute, you know, I can imagine your dog's out there too.